I hate the season system in Battlefront 2, it has so many issues. I've always kind of wanted to make a video on this topic, but I've always held back because I thought Season 2 might deliver a better layout for a season. But that's not what happened, and then when Season 3 got announced, well, let's just say a lot of people are really not happy here because the solo season has been completely snubbed and Clone Wars is getting 4 heroes. I'm fine with that, I'm completely fine with Clone Wars getting 4 heroes, I'm over the moon. But it's not very fair. One thing I do is I respect other people's opinions. If you got an opinion, you're entitled to have that opinion. And what I've seen in my comments section is people absolutely furious about the solo season just being snubbed, not getting any heroes, no new Galactic Assault map. I admit, you've got a point here. Now some of you already may be thinking, why are you complaining? You've got your Clone Wars DLC, the thing you wanted. I'm not complaining about that, I can't bloody wait for the Clone Wars season. I can totally sympathise with people who think Solo has just been left behind. Why? Because Clone Wars got left behind. I know how it feels. Battlefront 2015, no Clone Wars content. We had to put up with that for 2 years. It was a great game, that's why I kept on playing it. I really liked Battlefront 1, but no Clone Wars was kind of a disappointment. And then when this game launched in November 2017, Clone Wars was the era with the least amount of content. I know how it feels to have your favourite era or favourite movie pushed aside. The guys from Big Mitchum, you should definitely check them out, they've got a great channel, but basically, one of them asked me a question when I went into their stream the other day, and that was, what is a season? I want to know your opinions on this. And it may not seem like a big question, but it really is, because we still don't know exactly what to expect from a season. Now, when Season 2 Part 1 launched, we obviously got the 2 skins and we got the map. Now, I think that could have been added months ago. Those 2 skins had definitely been ready for a few months and the map was reused. Yet we had to wait till May and that was the start of our Season 2. Why wasn't the Ewok Hunt update a season then? Because we got much more content in that update during April. We got many more skins for troopers and heroes and we got Ewok Hunt, the new game mode. Yet that didn't class as a season, but what we got back in May did. The reason I hate the season system is because there is no clear layout. We expect heroes, so many people tell me, where were the solo heroes? And to be fair, they've never specified once that each season has to include heroes, and that is a huge issue here. They also never specified how many maps each season should have. Now if we look back at Battlefront 1, because we were paying for that season pass, they had to tell us what was coming up. Now I am aware that we're getting a roadmap next week, and people always ask me what is a roadmap, so let me just clear it once again. A roadmap is a plan of future content that will be coming to the game. But with Battlefront 1, we knew what was coming. We were going to get Outer Rim, then we were going to get Bespin, then Death Star, and then later down the line we found out that the 4th DLC would be Rogue One Scarif. We also got told that each season would include 2 heroes, one light side and one dark side. With these seasons in Battlefront 2, the layout is honestly pathetic. You get 2 heroes in the Last Jedi season, 0 in Solo, and 4 in Clone Wars, and I can't stress enough that I am not complaining about getting 4 in Clone Wars. I am over the moon about that. I'm trying to look at this from a larger perspective here and think about how they've just snubbed 1 DLC. I've been asked this question in my streams and in my comments section so many times, and I think it puts across this point beautifully. And that is, if we got 4 solo heroes and 0 Clone Wars heroes, you would be complaining, would you not? And that is an amazing point. If we got 4 solo heroes and 0 Clone Wars, we would all be complaining. But when Solo gets 0 heroes and Clone Wars gets 4, less people are complaining, let's say. There is kind of some people in the comments complaining, but not as many. However, I do feel for you guys who wanted solo heroes and didn't get any, because this is what I would have done. If the solo season, because it's clearly not as big as we once thought it was going to be, we thought that if Solo was at least going to get its own DLC, it would be a good DLC because they never really let us down, or they didn't in the last game with the DLC seasons. Or they weren't even called seasons in the last game, they were just called DLCs, but they never really let us down. But if the Solo season wasn't going to be good from the start, if they just wanted to put the effort into Clone Wars, then don't make the season. Now Lucasfilm probably forced the Any Dice to make this season, let's be honest. But what the hell was the point of doing that? Because they didn't really add much. The skins were probably the highlight. Extraction's just reused. The map is just reused on Jabba's Palace. And then you have Kessel, which is pretty good. But waiting all those months for that, it's pretty unfair, I will admit. I can already see those comments coming in now, saying they had to work on the progression system, all that stuff. You can't use the progression system as an excuse when the system layout was terrible from the start. This system layout was already put into place before the whole progression situation kicked off with The Last Jedi season. This system was already in place at that point for that season. The Last Jedi season had been planned since June last year, at least that's when we found out about it. When that season launched, the layout was absolutely terrible. So you can't go blaming the progression system for the layout of the seasons being awful, can you now? If the Solo season was going to be bad from the start, don't make it. Just focus on the Clone Wars season. Because now what we have here is an incomplete season. And yes, the majority are excited for Clone Wars. I am with you. I am so excited. But there is that minority that are quite upset about this. And even though, yes, I am the biggest Clone Wars fanboy there is out there, I respect people for having an opinion, and I do feel sorry for these people because I know how it feels for a certain movie or a certain trilogy, like I've said, to be left behind. And I did want to shed some light on this situation because not many people see it, but I do check my comments. I read my comments, I read all my comments, and I like to see what people are thinking, and some people are understandably not very happy about this. Solo flopped at the box office, you have to accept that. They're not going to focus on making content for a game where the movie failed. But it was pretty set in stone from the start that this movie was going to fail. Nobody wanted it. I know the reply to that is nobody wanted A New Hope. They didn't, but we're living in a different time now. Not many people wanted to see younger actors try to portray Han Solo and Lando Calrissian. We'd rather have an Obi-Wan movie where you can actually get Ewan McGregor, who is the right age to portray an older Obi-Wan. And some people do find that hard to believe, I admit. You think that Solo should be treated the same as the other movies. And I agree, but they're not going to do that when the movie flopped. The emphasis was always going to go on Clone Wars because the majority want Clone Wars, admit it or not, it's what the majority want. Look how this game was dying. If you want to admit it or deny it, the game was dying. Clone Wars saved this game. I've never seen the community so hyped in my life. They're not just going to focus on making Solo content for a movie that flopped at the box office. So an easy solution to that, don't bother making the DLC in the first place because now it's just kind of incomplete there. And people are going to constantly moan about it. There's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, that is how I'm going to end things. I respect you for thinking this way about the Solo season. I so wish we got some heroes, but it's just not going to happen, is it? Now, let's hope that this roadmap next week sets a plan in stone here. What we're going to be getting in this season and how future seasons could work. If we get a Rogue One season, for example, in the future, it needs to work the same as the Clone Wars. The heroes need to be treated equally, the maps need to be treated equally. That's what I think at least. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, everyone. I'm not complaining about Clone Wars getting 4 heroes. I want to make that so clear. I'm so happy about it. I'm just trying to respect all opinions, that's all. But Clone Wars hype videos will continue, don't worry. I hope the season system turns it around. But right now, I hate the season system in Battlefront 2. Simple as. I'll see you all next time.